This podcast contains explicit and politically incorrect content.
Welcome to Tales of a New York Limo Driver, Sex, Excess, and Stupidity on Four Wheels, based on the best-selling book by Nicky Testaforte. Come along for over 100 stories that range from idiotic to friggin' unbelievable. Buckle up, kids, and enjoy the ride. One client, 4 strippers, and 9 hours in a Chevy Suburban. This surreal adventure started with a 7:30 p.m. call on my cell. "Hey, it's George. Are you available to do a job tonight?" "Sure," I said, "but I've got to get home and throw on a suit." "Don't bother," he said. "Just get here as soon as you can. The client is ready to go." I get to the office in less than 10 minutes and George is standing outside waiting for me. He threw me the keys and told me to take the Suburban and pick up the client and his friends at a bar the next town over and take them wherever they want to go. I get up there and I see 4 guys dressed in jeans and flannel shirts waiting outside the bar. They jump in and for the life of me, I can't figure out which one is the client. The guy sitting behind me says, "Make a left and go down to the Citibank drive-thru. I need some money." He gets his cash out of the ATM and says, "Okay, the next stop is Boomers. Do you know where that is?" "Yes, sir," I said, and we pulled away from the bank and headed for the local strip club. I drive up to Boomers, a windowless 1-story brick building with a long red awning and 2 steroidal bouncers the size of refrigerators holding up the front of the building. The client jumps out and says, "It will be a couple hours or so. See you later." I pull the Suburban into the parking lot and back into a space that affords me a view of the characters coming and going. It runs the gamut from the guys in raincoats out on a warm spring night, the father taking his son to his first strip club, and the suits that called their wives and girlfriends to tell them that they're stuck in a late-running meeting. Typical of these night-on-the-town jobs, when the client says a couple of hours, they tend to estimate on the low side. I'm sitting there so long that the only cars left in the lot are the Jags, Mercedes, and BMWs the strippers are driving. As some of the girls were leaving, the client came out, minus his buddies, and said to me, "Is it okay with you if I invite some of the ladies into the Suburban for a party? Or whatever you like, it's all yours." "That's great," he said. "I'll be back in a little while." As he walked over to a few dancers who just left the club, I thought to myself, this is going to be a very interesting evening. I see the ladies smiling, nodding their heads, looking at their watches, and convincing each other to come with him to the Suburban. Each one is grade A, top shelf pole dancer material, a surgically enhanced blonde from Silicon, Texas, a Latino J-Lo look-alike from the Hood, New Jersey, tall, naturally endowed black from Dollar Bill, Georgia, an exotic Asian from Collis, Thai, Hawaii. The ladies were dressed in the after-work attire of sweats or shorts and tank tops. All of them were very easy on the eyes and much better looking than the lumberjacks that came down with them earlier. After the dancers threw their stuff in their cars, the 5 of them jumped in the Suburban. The Asian and the black girls crawled into the cargo area, and the Latino and the blonde sat on the bench seat behind me with the client sandwiched in the middle. The client then said to me, "Find us a secluded spot. I don't want to be interrupted." So I headed to a location behind a shopping center that was dead at that time of night and parked the Suburban so I could keep my eye on any interlopers that might disrupt the evening's festivities. Act 1, in a matter-of-fact way, like he was directing contractors working around his house, he said to the black and Asian girl, "I'll give you $500 each to pleasure yourselves. And when they get going, I want the Latino and blonde to French kiss them." After the digitally inspired girls moaned their way to a crescendo, he told them to switch places and then told the Latino and blonde that he wanted them to get naked and he would give them $1,000 each to eat each other and play with each other's ass. After a while, I couldn't tell if the girls were moaning from pleasure, faking it to speed things up, or if the one on the bottom was in pain because of the raised ribs on the floor of the Suburban's cargo area. Act 2. "Okay, ladies, I want to see a threesome. $2,000 for each of you. I want the Asian on the bottom, feet facing the driver. I want the Latino on top so that the Asian can eat her pussy and ass. And I want the blonde girl facing me so that the Latino can finger the blonde girl's pussy and ass while she's looking at me. It was already pretty cramped back there and starting to smell like a poorly ventilated Amsterdam whorehouse on 2 for night. So I turned up the AC and cracked my window to get some air in there. The black girl leans forward and says to me, "Wow, this is hot. Is it getting you excited?" "Sounds good so far," I said, "but I'd rather be on the field than sitting in the stands." And with that, she smiled and turned around to watch the show. And when the threesome wrapped up, the Latino said to my client, "Hey man, don't you want us to suck your cock or something? All you want to do is watch?" "That's all," he said. "Now let me direct the action." Variations on the same theme were going on for some time, and my rough estimation was that he was into the girls at this point for at least $20,000. It's now about 3 a.m. and the girls are whining. "We're tired. Can't we go home now?" Maybe they were tired, but they ended up making more money off him for a few hours work than most people take home in a month. $5,000 each, or $1,250 an hour. Nice side job, huh? He lets them get dressed but convinces them to make one more stop. They agree as long as they can get out and stretch for a while. He then tells me, "Drive us to a Latino bar that's not too far away." He tells the ladies that he wants the 5 of them to go in and pick one guy out for them to do in the Suburban while he watches. I'm sitting outside the bar while the cops are circling me like vultures. I honestly thought they were going to question me why I was sitting there. That would have been a trip to explain. "Okay, officer, I have this client who likes to watch. Act 3. The client and the girls come out about a half hour later with a 20-year-old Latino kid in tow, smiling as if he just hit Powerball. The client tells the blonde and the black girl to get in back with the guy and then tells me to find another secluded spot. I drive to an area behind an office building and Fellini starts directing the action once again. He wants the guy to get on his back and eat the blonde. He wants the black girl to go down on the guy, get him hard, and then ride him. The black girl goes down on him, gets his blood flowing, slips a condom on him, and goes on a ride the kid will never forget. After they finished, the client told the guy to get dressed and gave him $200 while I drove them all back to the bar. After we dropped the Latino kid off and headed back to the strip club, the girls started whining that they wanted their cash. So the client directs me in search of another Citibank where he pulls cash from his account. He splits it out and says, "Here's $250 each. Come by my office tomorrow for the balance." After they say their long goodbyes, he gets in the front seat and tells me to take him home. I ask him what line of work he's in, and he says, "I make over $2 million a year. 2 of my best friends got murdered a month ago." After that, I decided that life is too short and I'm gonna do whatever the hell I want no matter what. As I get a block away from his house, he tells me, "Stop here. I don't want my wife to hear me come in." He then turns to me and says, "Wow, that was some night, huh? Tell the boss to throw you an extra $800 on top of what you made tonight. $800 plus $216 for the trip. Not bad for a few hours work." He thanks me, gets out, and walks the block to his house. As I drove away, I still couldn't fathom how, with those 4 girls at his disposal and all the money he spent, all he wanted to do was watch. And that's how my first day driving a limo went down. I bet that doesn't even come close to any of your first days on the job, roaming the halls, searching for paper clips. How'd you like those stories? If you did, please comment, subscribe, and spread the word. I'd really appreciate it. Until next time, take care and have a good one.
This podcast is a production of Testaforte Studios, and no content may be repurposed without express written consent.